boo. Yeah, this is regarding a conversation I had with Tinfoil. As you can see, this is how it is over here, man. Basically, unless they have some cameras, maybe they have somewhere, I guess, but unless I do some weird weird stuff, it will not bother me. And this is basically not unique. This is how it is nowadays. It's like people sitting here, man. They have some karate class and there are people waiting for the kids and some shit. And yeah, you think I'm joking when I tell you like it's like I live in a ghost town, man. But this is it, man. This is fucking everywhere I go, I close here at 10, so I can sit here at 10 until 10. I borrowed this book. This is what I've been talking about. It's in Swedish, so I can't really show too much. Some photos. Oops, that was broken before me. That was one of his wives. I mean, the interesting thing about Bukowski's life was not how they looked. That was one of his wife, I think, too. Like some sort of freak. You know what I mean? Like Hunchback of Notre Dame or something. She has some she was born with two knots in the spine, so yeah, but he didn't pick and choose. If you know Bukowski, do you understand? And was he a genius? I think he was in some aspect. Define how you define it. He was way more intelligent and philosophical than people think, or people are not interesting anyway. I mean, I've been reading about him, and I read just now when I worked in the post office, right? And they went out to have a beer, and they were like, after work, and Bukowski was like, well, I'm an author, and the people didn't even, they didn't give a shit, just like today, if you do something cultural, I mean, don't put yourself down if you're an artist, a thinker, philosopher. You're beyond them, Trust me, Otherwise, read the other persons of the post office books. Read about their fucking life. It's not deeper than a soap opera with. Yeah, that was a funny story. I got complaints when he was living in the. Complaints when he was living in the building that he was typing, so people complained. So he wrote a letter saying that you fucking watch television, your soap operas or comedy, the sitcoms with fake laughter, and I can't stand this. Can you turn this shit off? And so that's kind of what I dealt with, but yeah, he was just. I'm happy I didn't have his. Well, didn't grow up in the United States in that period of time, you know. Holy shit. Fucking work. I mean, it's just dark depression, communistic mentality that is just like, fuck that shit, man. Holy shit. He worked for 12 years in the post office. It was not a fucking fancy life. You know. I had good times, you know, at least, even if nothing happens in my life. I've seen it all. That I have done. I started reading this at the end of the book when he was dying, because that was the part I didn't know everything about. That was interesting as well. So, and that then he was alive, so they could interview him and have more real facts, you know. His early life is more based on other people's, you know, his stories. So I guess this was more insane than it's described in the book. You know, a book can be pretty much like, you know, I pissed on the street and I got locked up, and I went out the next day and looked for a job, you know. But if you go through an experience like that, it's not that fucking easy, you know, as the book said, you know. So read it, or any other Bukowski biography. If you're gonna read a novel, read Hammond Rye, and then read Factotum, and then read maybe Women, maybe Pulp, then read Post Office. The last one I didn't like that so much. Then read all the shorter novels. What is I don't remember the names. It's like compilations of short stories. But I would recommend those books first of all. Yo, hello little girl. This looks like Kai have been sitting here for like 30 seconds. If Kai had been sitting here for 30 seconds, the table would look like this. That's how chaotic it is, man.